Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. We'll be starting in one more minute, just while everybody's getting logged in. Thanks for joining us. All right, welcome everyone. We're excited you've joined us for today's session on how omni-channel marketing can drive ROI for your business. A few housekeeping details before we get started. This session is being recorded, and you should receive a link to the recording tomorrow by email. Please feel free to share this webinar content with your colleagues that could not attend today. A question and answer session will immediately follow the presentation. If you have a question for our speaker, please type it into the questions box in your GoToWebinar panel on the right side of your screen. This webinar is hosted and sponsored by Suttle-Straus. Suttle-Straus was founded in 1910, and over 110 years, our company has built up the equipment and expertise to handle almost any marketing project. We offer creative design services, conventional and digital printing, displays and signage, direct and transactional mail, custom online marketing portals, kitting and fulfillment, and promotional products. For more information about us, please visit us on the web at Suttle-Straus.com. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today's session. Alex Saunders is our Connected Mail Product Specialist and the go-to guide for omni-channel marketing. Alex, I'm going to hand it over to you, and you can take it away.
Wonderful. Thank you for the introduction. We've got some exciting stuff to share with you today, and some of these things may be a little refresher, but it's important to talk about when we connect the dots and understand why we do things a certain way, and ways that we suggest setting up your marketing campaign. So the biggest topic here today is discussing an omni-channel approach in today's world, and we want to understand the differences between an omni-channel approach and a typical multi-channel marketing approach. So let's look at those differences. 90% of businesses utilize a multi-channel marketing strategy, and what that means is you've got Google going, you've got Facebook, Instagram, you're maybe doing some direct mail, but all of those components are out there on their own, right? They're different messages, they're different audiences, but ultimately all of those lead to your website or lead into your business. It's good for your branding, it's good for your organization. But when you look at an omni-channel marketing approach, what that means is you start with the customer, start with a prospect. The exact same person is going to see that exact same message across multiple channels. So you're delivering a consistent, seamless experience across all of those versus them seeing 100 different messages. And let's take a look at visually what that looks like. So here we have a multi-channel marketing approach where when we look at this, we can obviously see all of these ads are for Starbucks, right? You see the app, you see the cup, we recognize that logo. This is a multi-channel approach where they're marketing different things, but it's all marketing for Starbucks. Omni-channel, you can see the clear difference here. It's very seamless, they all look very similar, and now you have that much needed repetition and consistency across all of those channels. The same person is seeing the same thing just across different channels, and that's really what we're here to talk about today, is why that works in today's environment. It's important to understand consumers' experiences and how consumers respond to things. The average person, the average consumer sees over 2,900 marketing messages a day. That could be through any channel you can think of: digital, billboards, TV, direct mail, radio, emails, even down to the logos on our shirts and cups. Right? We're constantly being solicited by brands and organizations. So as a marketer, as a business owner, it's important that you rewind and put yourself in the position of that consumer or the prospect. Just because you send out a single postcard or a single letter, or you send out 1 or 2 emails, doesn't mean that that message was actually seen, absorbed, or even acted upon. You have to stand out, your messaging has to stand out, and it's, again, very important that you understand that you're going to get tired of your marketing message well before that end recipient does. So if you are doing marketing, but you're delivering a different message to that consumer every time, it's not going to trigger that familiarity or that recognition, and that's, again, why omni-channel is a much more effective approach. We can deliver consistent experiences to that user over and over and over again. And on that note, repetition. Repetition is so essential in anything that you do, especially marketing. 80% of sales are going to be made between that 8th and 12th contact. So if you are stopping short of that, you're not seeing the full fruits of your labors or your efforts. You never know when somebody is ready to make that buying decision. So if you're only in front of them maybe once every 6 months or once every 30 days, 90 days, whatever the consistency is, you don't know when that trigger is going to happen that they're going to convert, especially on larger items. Like, we talk about real estate or, selling life insurance. That's a big decision. And that's not some decision that somebody's going to make just because you sent one postcard to them one time and you hit them at the right time. It takes consistency. It takes repetition. Look at these big brands, right? We all recognize what these are and who these people are, but that's because they branded themselves so repetitiously and so consistently. Bed Bath & Beyond has literally never changed the color or the font or even the 20% off. I mean, sometimes at Christmas they'll run $20 off, but the consistency is there. People expect that, and when they get that, they know it's coming. They know who it is. But you're also probably thinking, all right, Alex, well, I'm a smaller, medium-sized organization or business. I don't have the budget that some of these huge conglomerates have. And I'd say you're exactly correct. And you don't have the audience or the reach either. But if you have the right tools and you use the right strategy, like an omni-channel connected mail campaign, you can be the Geico of your industry, or you can be the Nike of your industry. You just have to use the right tools and you have to track. Marketing budget from shift to print to digital is over. When the pandemic hit, world shut down, everybody retreats, right? We pull out marketing, businesses shut down, we're kind of just in survival mode, right? But it's no longer print versus digital anymore. Before, you'd have to decide, well, do I do print or do I do digital? They both got their pros, they both have their cons. And you had to pick, or you thought you had to pick one or the other. Not the case anymore. Integrating your marketing and doing multiple things is the way to go. It's the best way to get the best bang for your buck. When people see something on a billboard, or they get a direct mail piece, or they hear a radio or see something on TV, all roads lead to your website. The two have always been connected. When you send direct mail out, that's the catalyst that's driving traffic to your website. But we've never really had tools or something that bridge the gap between those two worlds. Why does direct mail work? Well, direct mail works because attention spans are short, right? 8 seconds is the average human attention span. So imagine how difficult my job is today to keep everyone engaged here for the next hour. But direct mail takes 21% less cognitive effort to process than any digital marketing. And it's very simple. When you go check your mail, when you walk to the mailbox, that is literally the only thing at that point in time that your attention is on. Versus when you're checking your emails, you're scrolling through Facebook, you're mindlessly doing those things, delete, delete, delete. It's so easy to scroll right past a digital ad that's not relevant to you. And CPMs are increasing while the results are decreasing. And what that means is everybody went digital, right? I do some emails, I can do some Google, I do a little of this, a little of that. But when there's more people there, it obviously becomes more saturated, and the demand to be in that digital space becomes more expensive. People retreat from the mailbox, everybody goes online, and now that whole platform is saturated. So it's not as effective as it first was standalone, or as it was a few years ago. Digital fatigue is real. Like, look what we're doing now. Typically this would be in-house, right? We're doing events, we're doing galas, we're doing all those things as normal, but now we've shifted and had to figure out other ways to continue business. And this is kind of our new normal, but people get tired of things in the digital space, and sensory experience wins every time. When you can put a tangible piece of something, tactile materials, sensory things in front of somebody, that's much more personal. They're going to experience something versus just seeing something one time on TV or one time in the digital space and saying, okay, that's cool. But you have something physical to touch and smell and feel. People like direct mail. People want the mail. They want to go check their mail. For some, that's the highlight of their day, seeing what coupons and such that they have. So direct mail has always worked. Direct mail is going to continue to work, but you have to figure out a way to integrate it. You have to be able to track, and the numbers speak for themselves. 66% of direct mail is open. I can't think of a single email campaign that any of us have ever done that's gotten that type of open rate. Direct mail outperforms all digital marketing channels, and it really always has. But again, it's just been extremely difficult to track. So when you're looking at the bottom of two invoices, you're looking at how cheap email marketing is or how cost effective digital is compared to direct mail. Well, sure, direct mail is a bit more expensive, but if you've got to do 10x the amount of digital to get the same response, is it really all that more cost effective? But again, we're not talking about doing one or the other. We're talking about integrating them. And that's the way that you're going to be successful in today's digital world, is joining those two together and figuring out a way to increase the exposure, get the best bang for your buck, and spread that across multiple channels and not just putting all of your eggs in one basket. A lot of people are still working from home, and that whole home, environment, work environment, it's kind of a blurred line right now, right? So even in the B2B space, C-suite execs, C-suite level people in companies still check their mail, right? They're still people, they're still consumers at first. So they have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have all of these things. You just need to simply meet people where they are. Research and stats tell a story. So NAPCO did a survey on a couple of top industries: financial, media, nonprofit, retail, hospitality, some heavy hitters. And the results are their marketing budgets have to increase. Sales and marketing go hand in hand. If you're not outflowing, you're not going to have consistent inflow in. So it's apparent that marketing is essential to any business growth or just even sustaining business. So we've got increased budgets and we've got people spending more on direct mail. But how are they doing that? They're doing that and they're seeing the success because, again, they're integrating other digital channels alongside their direct mail. They're not choosing and doing things ad hoc or kind of all helter-skelter. It's all combined into one. Marketers who use 4 to 6 marketing channels report they have the best response rates. And that's also a pretty simple thing to understand. The more you do, the better it's going to work. If you just do a little bit of this, just do a little bit of that here or there for 30, 60, 90 days, yeah, you're not going to see the results that you want unless you have a consistent campaign and you're spreading that out amongst multiple channels. So again, utilize every channel that you have with your budget in consideration. Do as many things as you possibly can, but be very strategic in how you do it. And if Google's doing it, you should too, right? Google runs the world. Google utilizes an omni-channel marketing approach, and Google even does direct mail. So again, if Google thinks it works and knows it works, can prove it works, we should be doing the same thing. There's no longer a print versus digital, it's print and digital. Integrate the two. Any business can utilize this type of omni-channel marketing approach and can really utilize direct mail and be successful with it. It all comes down to being consistent, having the right design with the right message. Anybody can utilize direct mail. Any industry can utilize an omni-channel approach. Whether people are going to your website, whether you have an app, whatever your business model is, all roads lead to your website. 90% of people are going to go straight to your website before they think of any buying decision, before they think of calling you, visiting your brick and mortar location. So that is why it's so important to integrate the two. 4 P's of marketing. It's important, and kind of just as a refresher, you should know your product, you should know your price, and us as a marketing company, it's our job to help you with the promotion and the place. But that is really just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that goes into creating a successful approach, a successful strategy. And personalization is one of those things that sometimes is so overlooked. And what do we mean by that? Simple as possible, put somebody's name on the postcard. Hey, Alex Saunders, here's 20% off for your beautiful new couch. I get that and I'm like, wow, they're speaking directly to me. It's not, hey, we're XYZ Furniture and we have a Memorial Day sale. Come look and see what we have to offer. That's so impersonal. Personalize things. Make people feel like you picked them out one for one to receive that exact message at that exact time. And segment your list, segment your audiences. Not everybody should get the same message, demographic-wise, income level-wise. Segment that data out. And if you haven't taken a look into your existing database and done sort of a data analysis, if you will, a snapshot, to really understand who your ideal prospects are and who your clients are, if you don't have a persona or have an idea of what those demographics consist of, I really urge you to dive into that and understand who your people are, so that way we can help you go cultivate and cherry pick out a list of people that look exactly like the people that are already doing business with you. Don't just do the old spray and pray approach, pick out everybody in a zip code and just kind of just blanket mailing. That's a waste of money and it's a waste of resources. And do some split testing. Change up offers, do different offers for different audiences, and we can split test. That's the power of our connected mail platform, is that we're tracking everything and anything down to the T. So we'll be able to know what offer is pulling a better response, what audience is more active online, or this or that. Do some testing. Don't just do one thing and say, hey, direct mail doesn't work or this isn't working. It's a constant process. It's ever changing. 80% of consumers are more likely to do business with a company that does offer those personalized experiences. So what does that mean? When you go online to a website, let's take the skincare for instance. When you go online, they have a million products. How do you know what product is good for you? They give you a quiz. They say, hey, are you dealing with this? You answer some questions because you want to get back their personalized recommendations based on your answers. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about here. So if you can deliver that personalized experience and make those people feel special, they are 80% more likely to do business with you because you gave them that experience. Staying ahead of the curve, literally. Be in front of people at the right time. Direct mail retargeting is sort of a new buzzword, idea or strategy that not a lot of people are utilizing. It's reinventing or re-engineering the way that you think and do direct mail. Instead of sending pieces to people that we have no idea that are interested, now we can send direct mail pieces, personalized direct mail pieces, to people that are actually on your website looking at your product, looking at your service. I mean, think of how many people you have that are on your website daily that are basically saying, hey, I'm interested, but we're not following up with them because we don't have the tools. So direct mail retargeting, on average, 9 to 18% response rate. And if you don't see it for yourself, you'd probably think that I was fibbing there, right? It's a huge percentage when you look at standard direct mail, 0.25% to 1%. But again, it makes sense. Instead of mailing to a cold, stone cold prospecting list, you're mailing to people that are actually warmed up, that are interested, that are already right in front of you. It's your lowest hanging fruit. But again, if you don't have a way to identify or capture those people, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So let's take a look at some of these successful campaigns, because results speak for themselves. Here you have that whole omni-channel approach where you see the direct mail piece that went out. You've got the little girl, rough start. She obviously looks frustrated. And then you see the kids on the back smiling. It gives that parent that experience. Yes, my kid's going through that. Okay, these kids are happy. Yes, we have a rough start. It triggers that emotion because they're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Looking at their stats here, first year revenue, 2.9 million. 2.9 million, and it's pretty simple. The same piece, the same design, the right list, and an omni-channel approach. Here's another example, a summer program, right, for a theater. Mail piece, Google ads, social ads all coincide with that to create that true omni-channel experience. And we were able to collect almost a little over 24,000 leads for that company. And think of what one new client is worth to you, right? To your organization. If the average ticket price is $100 and they come to 6 shows throughout the year, each client is potentially worth up to $600. Think of the ROI. Don't look at how much money is going out. You have to look at what is coming in and the potential, the lifetime value of that client. And this one's a little bit different. This one's a letter that we did. And sometimes, how do you put that letter format in a visual experience for that client? And it's simple. Use the branding, use the logo, put a picture that coincides with exactly what you're trying to portray to that audience. And here are their results, 6,000% ROI. Another one, financial industry, the infamous get $200 for signing up a banking account, the one that every financial institution offers. But they did it a little bit different. They actually did a split test. They mailed some with connected mail, they mailed some without connected mail. And it was obvious that they saw a 33.2% higher lift in conversions of those that were hit multiple times versus just those that received the one direct mail piece and nothing else. But if you're not tracking things, you don't know this data. You don't have any of this insight. So you're feeling frustrated. You're spending money on marketing that's not actually working, and you're trying to just grasp at straws. So I think everybody sort of gets the idea here with all of these case studies that we've put together. But ultimately, it can work for any industry, anything that you're offering, as long as you have the right message, the right consistency and repetition, and the right audience. It's all about who you're marketing to. This is a direct mail retargeted case study that we did. So that's where they took the leads that were on the BlendJet website that put this BlendJet inside their cart. And when before they left, they said, hey, don't go, here's 10% off. Some people converted, most did not. So what they did was they took that list, they were able to identify through the connected mail lead match technology, all of those visitors that did not complete or abandon that shopping cart. So then they mailed to them, they personalized it, sent them a higher, stronger offer, and they immediately saw a 15.14% response rate on that and 12% conversion. So it works. Direct mail has always worked. It's just been ultimately impossible to prove and to track. So through our connected mail technology, we offer 7 technologies, 7 platforms. Social Match, where we integrate Facebook and Instagram to those people that are on your list, delivering that consistent messaging, mail tracking, informed delivery, call and text tracking, online follow-up, social media follow-up, and of course lead match, which identifies those anonymous visitors. And what that allows you to do is actually identify who's on your website, what things that they're interested in, so that way you have the most viable lead list that you could ever mail to. So all of these integrated in with your direct mail, on average, we're seeing a 23 to 46% lift in results. And that's because it's a true omni-channel experience, a true omni-channel approach. So what we would urge you guys, if this does look like something that's of interest to you, or if you're doing direct mail, you're not seeing the response that you want, or if you are seeing a response that you want and you just want to boost that up, we welcome any one-on-one conversations so we could talk about how this could work in your existing strategy, go over costs, anything associated with it. We just want to help you guys grow your businesses, but be smart about how you're doing it so you're not wasting time and wasting money.
Thanks, Alex, for that informative presentation. We will now open it up for questions. If you have a question for our speaker, please type it into the questions box in your GoToWebinar panel on the right side of your screen. While everybody's submitting their questions, I'm going to launch a poll in case anybody's interested. You can check if you'd like any follow-up information on launching an omni-channel campaign with us. We can send you a brochure. We can give you a demo of how the technology works, or a pricing quote if you have a direct mail only campaign that you want to add omni-channel parts onto. Just let us know what you're interested in. And everyone will be getting a link to the slides and the recording of this webinar tomorrow by email. And it'll be up on our website, so watch your email tomorrow for that. Thanks for that question, Emily. Alex, it seems like it would be a lot of work coordinating all the different channels and keeping track of them all if you were to do this all separately. So what do you have to offer that would help people just keep track of all these channels at once?
Yes. So that's the entire purpose of the platform, is it's all integrated into one seamless dashboard where we are taking a lot of the work off of your plate by launching all of these things. It seems like it would be pretty daunting, and it is daunting to do it on your own and maintain it and really be able to understand it. So part of the value of this connected mail platform is not just the enhanced exposure and what it can do, but also the tracking of it. You get access to a platform, a dashboard where you can log in, see live time, all of these technologies working in unison around the direct mail piece. So it's no longer you trying to pull reports out of all of these platforms. Everything is centrally located in one dashboard. You log into one place, you see everything there. So I would urge you to reach out to Suttle, and we can go through the dashboard, show you exactly where everything is located, how to use it. And that's also part of doing this, is not just seeing the stats and all the clicks and all the exposure, but actually doing something with it. Data is only as valuable as what you decide to do with it. So part of our partnership here with you when you do marketing with us is that we help you understand what you have, what we should do with it, what those follow-up strategies look like. And it's a true consulting, partnership. It's not just, hey, do some direct mail, do a little of this and a little of that and hope it works. It's much more intricate than that.
Yeah, we've gotten a question on how much it costs for an omni-channel campaign versus just a direct mail one-channel campaign. And you might assume that adding on Google display advertising and social media advertising would build up a lot of your costs, but it is pretty cost effective. It starts at about 15 cents per mail piece and actually goes down the more you mail. We can get as low as 5 cents a piece. So we would give you a custom quote based on your mailing list size. And basically you're adding all these other features for pennies on the dollar to raise that effectiveness. Alex, you got anything to add on that as far as?
Yeah, I mean, it really, cost is a big thing. And that is part of the value here, is that, it's not like your typical pay for play that some that have done digital marketing before are used to. It's all a flat cost based on the amount of pieces of mail that you're sending. And you'll probably be pretty surprised as how cost effective it is, that it's less than the cost of a stamp. But again, you have to look at the value of one new client, right? Price. You should be able to quantify or justify your risk here, right? If you're spending, let's say, $2,000 on direct mail, but one new client, the first time they order with you, is worth $1,000. Well, we only need 2 clients out of 2,000 to make back our money, and then everything else is sprinkles. So that's what you really need to be evaluating, when you're looking at that. You usually look at costs going out and, it's pretty expensive, but you've got to look at the potential there. You've got to look at what one new client is worth in the immediate conversion, but then also the lifetime value of that client. And sometimes you don't realize, the referrals that are also coming with those clients. So you kind of got to look at bigger picture there, but it is a very cost-effective option compared to, some Google display, pay-per-click, things of that nature that you can do. So again, I'd urge us to, have an offline conversation about what that budget would look like for you and ways that we could help strategize.
Yeah, in terms of case studies, we actually had a swim school, and we learned that their lifetime customer value was about $900. So it would only take 2 new students to pay for their campaign. It doesn't seem like a big response, but the fact that you're getting ROI with just 2 responses makes it a no-brainer.
Right.
That's all the time and questions we have for today. If you have more questions you didn't have a chance to ask or think of something later, you're welcome to email them to me at marketing@Suttle-Straus.com, and I can get back to you. Everyone should watch their email tomorrow for a link to the recorded presentation and the slides. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.